So hi guys, my name is Anna Recek, this is my new channel and we are in Wroclaw in Poland right now in a Japanese garden. This is my friend Ranush from Uzbekistan and I am from Brazil. So there's a lot going on right now. Poland and Japan and Uzbekistan and Brazil together here. And I'm sorry, English is not my first language, but we decided to start recording videos in English because there's so many nice, interesting people that I want to show you, and Ranush is the first one.
Thank you.
She's so beautiful. And
Stop it. You're pretty too. Seriously, you're beautiful yourself too.
And she's a baby. She's like my little sister. And we are studying Polish together. So it's something that I never expect to do, and life took me this way, and I guess your life too. Have you ever thought like, oh, one day I will be learning Polish?
No, I even didn't thought that I would be coming here. I knew I always wanted to study abroad, but Poland I never imagined.
She came here to study political science, right? And we had many interesting talks about politicals because that's a subject that I'm interested in.
Passionate about.
Passionate about, okay. Guilty as charged. And Ranush knows a lot of interesting facts.
I actually wanted to quit political science after 2.5 years of studying, and then guess whom I met?
Yes.
A person who is crazy about politics.
Yeah, I like the subject, but I don't know enough. I would like to study more and maybe do a master degrees or something in political science. And I was even talking about thinking about that the other day. Maybe a good option. I don't know. Let's see what the future.
And I have books too. I can share with if you want to read.
Yeah, of course. I would love that. And so maybe today you can tell us a little bit why did you decide to study political science?
I actually, since I was a kid, I wanted to become a diplomat. So I always loved this profession, to solving problems like in an international area, and I loved history, social science, psychology, and political science pretty much had everything in it about all these subjects.
And did it have anything to do with the political tension around your country? Because Uzbekistan, we know that's a peaceful country, but you are very close to a lot of tension.
Yeah.
They're from
No,
Afghanistan and all this.
we're quite peaceful with our neighbors, but the main reason was because I was, as a child growing up, I was seeing the news and watching how the wars were happening, and I wanted to help. I wanted to help to solve problems.
And how do you think Uzbek people see the politics? Are they interested? Are they involved? Are they?
Depends, like really depends, because we gained our independence from Soviet Union literally almost 30 years ago. So
Same as Poland. Yeah. So 1989, around that.
we 1991.
91, a little bit.
So we're trying to establish ourselves in an international area right now. We'll see. Hopefully it works out. Talk about more yourself. Like, how did you come here? What were you doing?
Well, I was living in Brazil, in São Paulo. I was working there, and I decided to turn my life around and do something to connect with my Polish relatives, because they went to Brazil after Second War, and there was a lot of missing people, and the family was shredded to pieces by the war, like happens to so many people. And after 30 years looking for her relatives, my mother finally found her cousins, and I decided I must come. and do it now, or it will be too late. I will never do it if I don't do it now. So I talked to my husband, and we decided to just try to come. And my main goal was to learn Polish, and I should be studying more.
Your Polish is quite good for 2 years.
And her Polish is really good because
Of the Russian background.
yeah, she's fluent in High Russian that I didn't even know that was a thing. But apparently there is Russian and High Russian.
Not
Like,
High Russian, literature Russian, more like.
yeah, like special Russian for literature. So
Yeah.
it's like a High Russian, but we can call it High, I guess. And so, of course, she has a beautiful accent for Polish, like very Russian.
No, it's not about that, it's about the way how I speak. Because when I talk in Russian, I have an accent on R. It's called Kartavits. So I speak everything with R accent, strong one.
And why do you have this accent? Is it because of Uzbek?
No. When I was a child, I couldn't even pronounce the letter R. So I was pronouncing not with the tongue, but with the throat. And we were talking about it in your child.
Yeah, but it's so cute. It makes you special because
People think that I speak German or French because of the accent.
yeah, but I think it's so nice. I try to imitate like but my mother does the R like you, and my father because it's very specific from my region in Brazil, from Rio Grande do Sul. And I don't have it so strong because I was born a little bit apart in Santa Catarina, and they don't do the R like that, very strong R. So it sounds familiar to me. And my mother, she will. Her Polish is a little bit. I would not say like the same accent that you have, but there's something similar for me. Very, very nice and warm and cozy, like home.
Thank you. Seriously, I'm telling you, you remind me of myself, but in the future, somehow.
Yeah, and Polish is very, very hard for me to learn.
In general, Polish, all the Slavic languages are basically hard to learn, like really.
Yeah, and Ranush was very supportive to my idea of starting to record in English because she will understand my videos. But I was. It feels bad to start recording in a tongue that's not my mother tongue, and I'm learning another language. So I should be studying English to record in English, but I'm studying Polish, recording in English, and
You have pretty good English again, seriously. Seriously.
no, I don't like my accent, and I never really study English. I learn by myself. I'm self-taught, and so I don't have the grammars that I need. So I just repeat like a parrot, like a Brazilian parrot, repeating what I heard all my life. But if I need grammar, I just.
No, you have it pretty good, like seriously. Yes, you can always increase, but seriously, your English is quite good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And so we are a few days away from Easter right now, and I don't celebrate Easter because I don't really celebrate any religious. I was raised a Christian, but I don't really celebrate any religious holidays and religion at all. But this is subject for another video, and Ranush doesn't celebrate Easter because she celebrates Ramadan because she's a Muslim. And it's another thing that is funny about our friendship is because I live by the only mosque in the town. So I was there, and
Yeah, seriously, I didn't expect that. I wanted to quit political science. I was in deep depression, and then I decided to stay in Poland and learn Polish and apply for another university. And then whom I met, a girl who is passionate and crazy about political science and lives next to a mosque. Like really?
yeah. And science can get much more clear than that.
Couldn't get clearer, seriously.
You can have like a band and someone carry a sign saying like political science, like bam badam 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 badam. But it was very interesting because I am interested in religion as a social tool. I'm interested in social connections, how people celebrate life, how they meet, how they are together, and so I try to study a little bit of every religion.
Culture, traditions, there are lots of them in Wroclaw especially.
Yes, and so I was very interested in the mosque, but it's not. I didn't feel comfortable to just walk in and say, "Hey guys, can I just sit here and look at you doing your stuff?" But maybe we can go together one day.
Yeah, we're actually talking about it.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna convert.
Yeah, just let full disclosure. I just want to have a look.
But you don't have to. It doesn't work like that. Every time when you go to a religious place, you don't have to convert.
Yes.
Right away.
I should try. You can blame a girl for trying.
I'm not trying, I'm not pressuring. Actually, it's normal. Every believer, no matter what religion is, they would try to convert to their religion as much people as possible. So it's normal.
And another thing that is very interesting about her background is that today, I guess, you're a religious person, but
I try to practice as much as I can.
But you came from a country that came from communism.
Oh yeah.
So how did that affect the religion in your country?
As you maybe already know, in communism, any kind of religion or believing in God was forbidden. In the communist countries, it would be even forbidden. People would practice their own religions, like hiding from the government at home, and wouldn't tell anyone, because it was like that. If the person was suspected of treason of any kind, you would just disappear, get sent to the special camp, like Stalin camps, or even get killed, shot, and you would basically disappear if you were suspected of any kind of major crime.
And so after war, how did you reconnect with Islam?
Well, after we gained independence, I guess, we started to... There are lots of religions started to be practiced openly. We have churches as well as Orthodox and Catholic, and mosques and synagogues. So, step by step, we started to come back to be more open when it comes... And we became like a secular country. So, but the major religion, of course, is Islam.
I was about to ask that. So you can say that is an Islamic country?
No, we're secular.
Secular, okay, you said secular, but most...
the major religion, yes, is Islam, but laws and everything else is secular.
And you already told me that nobody is obligated to follow anything. You are not obligated to wear hijab.
Like by the country rules and laws?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Because some places you can get in trouble if you don't.
Oh yeah, I know.
And how do you feel about people being obligated to do that? Because for me, it's very hard to.
You cannot force anything unless the person. It needs to be, even in Islam, it says that unless the person believes with his own heart, you cannot force upon it anything. Seriously. And whatever they do, they would be responsible and accountable for it on the day of judgment for themselves. Everything is responsible for their own deeds, good or bad.
Yes, that's very smart. I believe in that. And when I don't know, when you were a child, were you used to travel around?
Well, my father used to take us to the trips inside the country, mainly, to visit the places that were saint or interesting or historically valued. So yeah.
But how it felt when you came to like Europe? and you come to countries that are like not of majority of Islamic, do you think people here behave differently?
Yeah, I actually got a cultural shock. When I first came here, people were so... There was lots of PDA going on, like
Lots of what?
public display of perfection,
Yes.
like for sure.
Yes. Oh, you must go to Brazil to see public display of affection. Yes, it's shocking even for me. But yes, people are touchy, I guess. Even, especially in Brazil. When I came here, I was so anxious because I didn't want to be that girl, you know, the Brazilian girl, like, hey guys, like, hey.
Come on!
And I was just like talking to people, like trying to hold my hands, to not be talking like that, and not touching everybody. So I was like saying hello, or people like for 2 meters away, like hey, and not trying to impose. Because if I don't think about it, I want to kiss people, because we say hello kissing, like depending on the part of Brazil we can give 1 kiss on the cheek, or 2 kisses, or even 3 kisses.
Actually, similar in my country, but
Oh my
between...
gosh, don't move, there's a spider on your head. Oh my god, what do I do? sorry, she's still here. Oh my god, I will kill it. Die. Sorry, I killed a spider on your head. Oh my god. I need to remove her remains. Oh my god, please bring her. I'm sorry, I slapped in my face. On camera.
As long as we didn't panic and fall in the river.
That's like a spider. I hate spiders. Okay.
That was fun to watch, actually.
Oh, sorry. It was a brown spider. It was kind of big.
I don't know where did it come from. though.
For sure it came from this wood.
Yeah, because there are no trees around.
Yeah, but it's the time of the year that they come back to life. I don't know, from hell. They hide and start to
It's spring. It's spring, so it's quite normal. So what we were talking
Sorry.
you were talking about
I'm fine now.
trying to be more reserved.
Yeah, so I was trying not to kiss people, like because in Brazil we will kiss men and women in the same way. It's supernatural. So you need to be careful being in another country, because not everybody feels comfortable receiving an unexpected kiss on the cheeks. And sometimes, depending on the religion of the person, that can be super awkward, because you are
Well,
imposing.
actually, I don't think it would be awkward with the same gender, but it would be awkward with the opposite one.
Yes, and if Brazilian men come and just try to kiss you, and like, hey, and
Actually, it happened several times. Like, I don't know where they were from, but guys were coming and being like, hey! I was like, hey!
Yes, and even from other cultures, like in Italy, I guess the bum for them is something very innocent. So you meet a friend and you go like, hey. And in Brazil, that's like our trademark is super sexualized, and nobody touches anybody, but that's super offensive. Of course, in between girls we can just joke around, but if a man come and he just slapped me in the bum, I would be like, whoa, that would be a serious issue. Because in Brazil that is very sexual, and so I met some Italians and they were like doing that to each other all the time, and I was like, whoa, this is Brazil. Even that we are super open with many things, there are some things that we are super not open with. So countries, people are crazy.
It's actually quite interesting to study all these different traditions and different social backgrounds and ethnicities and etc. Seriously, it's really interesting. And in Wroclaw you get the chance to study all of them. Like, for example, in our group, how many nationalities do we have?
9.
So can you tell them?
Yes, I guess. The group that we study Polish, we have like Brazilian, Uzbek, German, from Angola. I don't know who was born is like Angolan. Angolan. I will ask Maria later. And Mexican, French, Belgian. The teacher that is Polish, and I'm forgetting. Well, of course, in Chinese.
You said it, I think.
No, Chinese. 9, because there are 8 students and the teacher. So
There was one from Korea too.
yes, and there was one from Korea, but he left, and then the girl from Angola got in because we are always 8. So we had like 10 different nationalities around this group, and it's so interesting because we don't only learn Polish, but we learn a lot about other cultures, and we had the tea ceremony with Shao, and it was amazing. And so it's very good to talk about other cultures. So I guess this is enough for one video. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
We touched many subjects that I would like to get in deep about, talk a little more about politics, another stuff. So that's it, guys. I hope you like. If you want to see something more about our city, Wrocław, our costumes, not costumes, costumes is like clothes, our traditions or the way we do stuff. I don't know how to say
Customs and traditions.
Okay, customs. Yeah, I don't know. And just write down what do you want us to talk about or to show you more.
In the comments below.
Yeah, comment below. Please subscribe. This is my new channel. Nobody watches yet. And I see you next time. Bye bye.